we're about to be getting a lesson from the one, the only, the legend Mike Bury, about to head outside. I'm excited about this. I haven't had a lesson in like over a year and a half, so much needed tuning of the golf swing. So hopefully we can kind of get some things sorted out. That big banana cut, borderline slice at times, not very good, not conducive of low scores.
As we come down,
what is up, y'all? Hope y'all having a wonderful day. We are back with the legend, Mike Bury. We're gonna be working on some swing things today. I've been hitting a big spinny cut with driver and kind of getting swipey on my irons. So that's why we're here. Mike Bury is gonna assess the situation. And we're gonna sort this out today.
okay, so Zach's going to hit a few. We're going to start with the 7-iron. He's warmed up a little bit, and TrackMan is going to be measuring what the ball's doing, tracking what his club's doing as well. The video camera will also get his data, and then we'll go inside and check it out.
Sounds good.
Got a little more leak to it than you want.
Yeah. Feels like just slightly swipey.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel quite the compression that I would like to. I mean, those are hit fine. And the one before, like I hit pretty decent, but there's something about it, I just like feel a little swipey. It doesn't feel like that really crisp like compression.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the driver. See if we can't get this thing sorted out. It has definitely been a big fade lately. Did hit a couple decent drives in the last round, but my misses were not where you want them.
Too much curve right there, right? That's the one we got to get rid of.
Yes, that is unfortunately been happening too often lately.
Yeah.
That was no good. Caught that a little heely, and that creates even more spin, which I've been starting things right at my target line with spin and heely. Not a good combo. I think Mike would agree with that. That's not what you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the numbers here and knowing, you know, we played the other day, the club is definitely swinging too much to the left, so his path is coming across the ball or across the target line too much, and the face is open, and that's why he's getting so much of the curve to the right. And Zach likes to hit a little fade, but right now it's moving too much. Oh, there you go.
We'll give that one a club twirl. I actually hit that one well. That was off center of the club face right there. Yeah, kind of see it. A little high, but hit that one well.
Alrighty, we got all we need. Let's go check it out, mate.
Well, let's do it.
Cool.
So I think that was kind of a good grouping right there. Hit like one pretty decent 7-iron and hit one good drive. The rest pretty much were the results of what I've been struggling with lately. So we're gonna go in here, kind of assess the situation, see what I need to work on to get this dreaded kind of, I'm just gonna call it a slice, out of there.
That's kind of what it is. So
It pretty much
we'll
is.
get rid of it.
Yeah, let's get that thing out of there. So Mike Bury truly is a legend. He is a phenomenal instructor. If you are in the Dallas area looking for someone, highly recommend him. You need to come check him out. He's here at the Texas Golf Center. Place is pretty legit. Driving range, it's even lit. So even after dark, you can hit some range balls.
Alrighty, so we're going to take a look at Zach's swing. We'll look at the video first, then we'll look at the TrackMan numbers. Zach and I have done lessons before. It's been quite a while, right? How long has it been since you've been in?
A year and a half, maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
And that was the last lesson that I got. Got a lot of ground to cover.
And we don't. He's not that far off. He's just curving the ball to the right, slicing the ball to the right more than he would like. So that's kind of the goal today, you know, identify why that's happening and give Zach some ideas, some drills to work on improving that, eliminating that curve to the right. All right, so when we look at the swing, I break it down into two parts. So one being what your club's doing, and then the other what your body's doing, right? And one affects the other. The down the line view here gives us a good look at what your club's doing, path, plane, face, some of those sort of things. The face-on view, which is this one, gives us a good look at what your body's doing in terms of rotation, weight shift, some of those sort of things. So we'll take a look, like I said, we'll take a look at the video and then we'll look at some of the TrackMan numbers.
Sounds good.
All right, so I'm going to put a couple of lines up on the screen here. This first one here is the plane line. Second line I'm putting on the screen here is the Hogan plane. Okay, and Hogan talked about like a plate of glass sitting on top of your shoulders. The idea being that we wouldn't want to break the glass or come through that blue line on the downswing. One of the things we're going to see when we look at your TrackMan numbers is the club right now is swinging across the ball, outside in. In fact, I'll just throw up some TrackMan numbers here. So see club path up the top left-hand side of the screen there, minus 4.2. So that means at the moment of impact, your club is swinging left 4.2 degrees.
It means we got some work to do.
So here on this one, Zach, the club path is 4.8 degrees to the left. And we should see it doing that for a fade player. It's just, it's a little too much right now. See those hands kind of pulling in behind your body here. See how the hands disappear pretty quickly?
Right.
Shaft exit's a little low.
Right.
Here, so we are swinging left a pretty good amount.
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah.
There's a number down here, and I'll explain this in a second, but this swing direction, negative 6.6, that basically means your entire downswing right now is 6.6 degrees left of the target.
Okay.
So we need to move that around a little more down the line. All right, I'm just going to take a quick look at the face-on view here, mate, and then I want to explain some of these TrackMan numbers. Setup looks good. I'm just going to put a couple more lines on the screen here. These are just all going to be reference points.
Okay.
How about that for a box? Did you see that?
I did.
That's pretty cool, right?
That was precise.
So we're just using these lines here just to see how Zach's moving relative to them. You know, for example, his head in that box there, he doesn't have to stay still in that box. There's ways that his head can move, ways we prefer for it to not move. I mean, Zach, as always, mate, there's some good stuff here. You're not that far off, but that path definitely needs a little bit of fine tuning right now.
Should probably also clean my clubs. That's not good.
Let's just pretend that this is the target line here and the golf ball is sitting right in here and the flag would be all the way down the line there. Anything moving down that line or pointing down that line is 0 degrees on TrackMan. Anything moving to the right or pointing to the right is positive. Moving left or pointing left is negative. All right, Zach, so on your, one of those swings there, if we look at, say, this particular swing here where the path is minus 4.2 degrees, what that means at the moment of impact, your club was traveling 4.2 degrees left.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now we can get that ball to the target if our club face at the moment of impact is half of the path, so in between the path and the target line here, that ball will fade and curve back to the target. If it's too open to that, then the ball's going to overcurve to the right. And if path and face are pointing in the same direction, the ball's going to go that way. That would be a pull. Your numbers right now, if you were wanting to hit a draw, right? Because I know a lot of people, watching are trying to get their swing more on the draw side. I'd like to see the path between, let's say, +2 and +5. Okay, so an in to out swing of 2 to 5 degrees right of the target. Now the fade side of that, I like to see a little more in the -1.5 to -2.5 range. Okay, so we have a little less room on the fade side. The reason for that is, if we're 5 degrees from the inside hitting a draw, it's going to be a pretty good amount of draw, but we're also going to get a pretty good amount of distance out of it. If we're 5 degrees to the left, we can still fade that back to the target, but we're going to start to give up quite a bit of distance. Your path there was anywhere around sort of, 4.5 to 5 degrees to the left. We know you want to hit a fade. You need to move that a little closer to, say, -1.
So I don't get on TrackMan very often, and I don't want to say oblivious to TrackMan numbers, but no one has ever explained TrackMan numbers like Mike did right there. I actually feel like I learned a whole lot in that 2-minute talk about the positive and negative. I actually had no idea. So I appreciate it, mate.
Here, you know, we touched on that swing direction and how on that one swing it was like negative 6.6, I think. So that swing direction is where the base of your entire downswing is pointing at the moment of impact. All right. So if the base of this was pointed straight at the target, that would be 0 degrees on TrackMan. Negative 6.6 meant your entire downswing was, you know, substantially to the left. That path that we were talking about is what happens right at the moment of impact. Swing direction is kind of your entire downswing. Alrighty, Zach. So, you know, we've looked at those TrackMan numbers. We know that the path is to the left a little too much. Now we've got to look at kind of why that's been happening. And what I'm looking at here is in the transition, the purple box that I've got on the screen there, mate, that's where your hands are on the backswing. I'm just going to drag it forwards here into the downswing. See how the hands came into the orange box? So we go from the purple box here on the backswing over into this orange box on the way down.
Right.
So the hand path, and that's not uncommon. We see that in a lot of good players, but right now for you, it's a little over, let's call it a little over the top. And then your hands get out a little too far and you have to pull back in down the bottom of the swing. So we're going to work on kind of shallowing it out in that first, you know, the transition. That will get you, I don't want to say from the inside, but certainly less over the top. Alrighty, so I did want to talk about the drivers that you hit out there, right? We hit a couple that had some big bend to it, and if we take a look over here, the blue ones here are your 7-iron, the red ones here are the driver. And so, you know, we're looking at the path here, which are all these numbers. We had a minus 7.2, you know, these paths were pretty good to the left. The one that you smoked was negative 0.9 to the left, so that's why that one was so good. That was actually a good swing. Okay, Zach, so this is a clock that I use to talk about path, right? So similar to the TrackMan, you've got the target line of 6 through 12. That goes all the way through to the flag. The negative numbers on TrackMan are swinging 5 to 11. And the positive numbers would be, you know, the draw path would be more 7 to 1. Right now, you're swinging too much 5 to 11.
Okay.
We may need to feel a little bit of 7 to 1, you know, a little bit of the draw path to move it around. There's a chance it might move around a little too far, and then we'll just have to fine tune it. But I want you to kind of keep this in the back of your mind, because I may say a little more in from 7. That kind of means, you know, need to just shallow it out a little bit and get it more from the inside. This is really just for your follow through. I want you to feel like you're swinging a little more down the line. Take it to the top and stop. We talked about in the transition how your hands and shoulder are working over this way too much. We need you to work more down. Yeah. Let's do a practice swing back and through.
Okay.
No stopping. Cool. We're not changing the backswing at all, it's just the downswing.
That actually felt really good. I felt like I did it.
You did a good part of the equation there.
Okay.
Okay. So at the start of the day, you know, we're, let's just say 5 degrees cutting across it. And our face was relatively open, you know, substantially open to the path to get the ball to curve back to the target. So we just fixed part of the equation there. If we take a look at the club path, remember we said -1.
Yeah.
That's where you got to right there.
Yeah, in one swing?
Yeah, really good. Now, the only problem was that the face was way open, which is why the ball went to the right.
Gotcha.
When you were cutting across it so much, you had to hold that face open, otherwise you would have pulled it left.
Yeah.
So now we have to fine tune what the hands are doing a little bit. We might have to just rotate and close the face a little bit relative to how you were before.
Okay. Felt like from the inside, but yeah, it was definitely open.
Yep. So the path was right at 0 right there, 0.01 path. So, you know, we're doing what we need to do there. Now we just need to fine tune the club face. All right, so right in here, as you're coming down and doing that little drop, we need a little bit of a twist, right? A very slight little twist, almost kind of rotating the shaft right here. And then as we come down, for those that are really open with the face, then we need to start rolling the hands here, not flipping the wrists. So we've got a little bit of a twist, and then we're rotating the hands to rotate that face. That was the right idea. It was too much.
Yeah.
But it was the right idea.
Yeah, too much.
So you can see that the path is looking good.
Yeah.
Path is great. You got -1.8 on the path, which is good. The good news is you overcorrected, you listened, you knew what to do, and that's a good sign. That shows me you knew what to do, you just did it too much. Honestly, it's pretty good.
Was it?
It's pretty good.
Okay.
So check out your path there. We've moved it from 5 degrees to the left.
Yep.
That was, very neutral right there. That was actually a slight little draw,
Okay.
right? Most people would be stoked with that. I know you like the fade, but the goal today, get rid of that slice. Now you just have to fine tune what you're doing with the path and the face.
Gotcha.
That was good.
Okay. We're gonna hit a few more in here and then head outside for some final analysis. Oh, mate, that actually felt really good.
Oh, this looks good. Yes, sir.
Boom! Bada bing. That's pretty much what we're looking for right there. The ball speed was better, even at the same club speed, which is a good sign. All right, so I'm gonna hit a few 7-irons, a few drivers. Hopefully we can execute what we worked on up there. That felt really good there towards the end. The last one that was filmed up there, I actually hit an exact same shot right after. Wasn't on video, but that was very encouraging to me. Mike was very clear on what I needed to do. I understood what he was saying, and that is so important when you're looking to getting lessons, is having good communication between the teacher and the student, and make complete sense. See if we can execute here. That was good. We got something to work on. So I really appreciate it, mate. Hopefully y'all learned a little bit. And like I said, if you're in the Dallas area, check out this guy. He knows what he's doing here. He's a good friend of mine, and I would highly recommend him. So I think that's about it. You have any closing words?
The only last comment, when you're working on what we worked on today, getting the path more to the right, be aware of your environment that you're practicing in. If you're practicing in a hard left to right wind, so if the wind's kind of blowing across you, you're going to fight against that with your path. So, if it was a super strong slice wind, maybe don't hit so many balls that day. Go work on some other parts of your game, and that way it won't affect what you're working on too much.
Sounds good. Well, that's it. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Until next time, we'll see you when we see you. Peace.